What's up? Okay, so I was reading this Notes to a Native Son by James Baldwin, and in the essay, Many Thousands Gone, he says something that just stuck out. He said, we cannot escape our origins, however hard we try. Those origins which contain the key, could we find it to all that we later become? And I had to pause right there. In this, like, writing, right, what he said essentially is that our histories are fundamentals and inescapable parts of us, no matter how hard we try to deny it or shove it aside. It's sort of is this one of the major determining facts of who we morph into. And actually I agree with it totally. Because if you look at it, right, let me just put it in a more practical extent. No matter how much a tree decides to be pompous or claim that it owns itself, at the end of the day, it is this dirty manure that the soil had to absorb that led to its growth. That's how I just picture it in my head immediately when I read that line. And you know, on our normal default mode, we just tend to want to shove away parts of us that existed but we didn't want it to. Be it anything, family traumas, cultural backgrounds, or even for his case, racism or racial history. But the truth is that story that has been told will always be told through you as well. Even if you don't accept that history, the history is still part of you. And when I read it, I also had this picture in my mind that came because I remember walking on the road one time and there was this thing I saw that just stood out for me, right? So it was early in the morning and I saw like a couple ravens, I think two, three, two. They were chasing this owl around a pharmacy area, yeah. And they were chasing the owl and they were perking it, just chasing it regardless. And I just stood there for that moment and I was thinking about it. It felt, poetic, or what should I call it? A bit of an irony. Because the owl, right, and this raven, they are both birds. But, the owl usually flies at night. So since it's already daytime, it has transcended its territory. But regardless of the fact that this owl could be innocent, all he just did was appear in the daytime. He was seen as a predator. So no matter how much of a good heart he had, no matter how much of a friend he probably thinks he is, maybe he might also be an outlier and be like, you know what, I don't like the fact that my ancestors always have to come out at night. I picture the night as something, gruesome, something hateful, something evil. Why do you guys have to choose night? Why do you guys have to be nocturnal creatures when the rest of your guys are flying on the daytime? And you know what, I'm being different and go fly in the day. But at the end of the day, whether he likes it or not, the body that he's been born into is that of an owl. And no matter how he tries to treat these ravens as his brother, as his friends that they are, history will always be told to him. And it actually hit home and made me realize that everything actually counts at the end of the day. You might decide not to tell it, but the fact that you've been born in whatever you've been born into, the fact that this happened in a past life to whoever I did, and that person actually counts to you, it is part of your story. Yes, you might hate it or not, but it's like this label that has been stuck to your skin. You can either decide to tell it your way because at the end of the day, stories will be told about it. You can decide to tell it in your favor or just let the world make whatever story it wants from it. And yeah. And also, I also point out that small phrase that he made that actually brought a lot of nuance in it. When he was like, so let me take the line again. He was like, we cannot escape our origins, however hard we try. Those origins which contain the key, Could we but find it? Could we but find it? It means that there is a key, there is a master key right there in your history, but those keys just makes you feel like it's invisible, and then we just purposely lock ourselves when those history can act as foundations, inevitable foundations for you to step further. But most of us are just blind, most of us, including myself. But yeah, it's interesting to read. Thank you.